All right, everyone, we are just starting up this live stream. If you're watching it recorded, it's going to take a few seconds for people to hop on. But I am just going to make sure everything is working here, and then we'll get talking. Just want to make sure the audio is good. As you're hopping in, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from and all that jazz. Tonight, we're just going to be looking a bit at the models and seeing what's coming down the pipe. And, all right, I see some people hopping in. Hello there, Corey Lee, over there on YouTube. All right, sounds like the audio is working. Let me know if the audio quality is good, if the video quality is good. Just going to make sure folks over on my Facebook page also know that this is going. And looks like the Facebook live stream is rolling. Hello, everyone. Also live on YouTube. Hey, Sonia, nice to see you. All right, sharing that to the channel. And also, all right. Hey, Darla, nice to see you there. If you're hopping on Facebook, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from as well. And let's get rolling with this live stream. Hey, Kurt Kaplan in the house there. All right. So it's been a little bit since I've done a live stream, and that's for a multitude of reasons. We did our storm chase out on the coast a couple weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today. King tides, strong winds. That was a lot of fun. Made a good acquaintance out there, out in North Cove. Might be installing a weather station actually out there in North Cove, Washington, pretty close to Westport, south of Westport, otherwise known as Washaway Beach rather. And so that's going to be pretty fun if I can get my weather station out there and start collecting some really good data out there in the furthest southwest point of that little peninsula that Westport is on. So right now, looking at the satellite imagery, there's not a whole lot going on over Washington State. I see Puget Sound Storm Watch is in the comments. Hello there, Anthony. And hello, Rose Evans. Okay, folks, if you're watching on Facebook, by the way, I also just wanted to let you know I'm currently live on YouTube as well. And same for you guys on YouTube. I'm live on Facebook. But just wanted to kind of take a look at what's happening in our weather right now in Washington State. There hasn't been a whole lot to chase. As I was kind of talking about and I got sidetracked with, did a chase 2 weeks ago, did some live streaming, and then I had to go to California for work. And when I was in California, I got sick and it took me a couple days to recover. I'm feeling better now. My voice still feels a little bit weak, but thankfully there's not been that much to chase really at all. So, so here's the satellite imagery. Looking at the Seattle forecast area, there's really nothing going on with the exception of some marine weather, like small craft advisories off the coast. And where's this for? Hazardous sea. Yes, Portland's forecast area for the hazardous seas warning. And the beach hazard statement is also for Southwest Washington. That's applicable to Washington State. If we take a look at this, I'm going to drag it over so that you guys can see it on the screen. Reading this, the threat is for sneaker waves possible through late Sunday night. And so, yeah, that's always a risk out there on the coast, but particularly right now through the weekend. Be careful about those sneaker waves. That'd be interesting to go out on the coast sometime just to see if we can catch ourselves a sneaker wave. I did catch one a couple years ago, and that was pretty interesting to actually see. And then looking at the Spokane, National Weather Service Spokane area, they are mentioning that there's going to be some winter travel at times this week. And something interesting of note is they actually mentioned the possibility, And if you're watching this, keep in mind, this is only for east of the Cascades. They mentioned the possibility of the first lowland snow of the season possible. Heavy emphasis on possible, and I like the fact that they put low confidence. I'm going to go ahead and flash that on the screen a couple times. Low confidence. All right, that was pretty dramatic, but low confidence of that. But some mountain snow could be coming up next week, and if we get a good chance of some mountain snow, I may head up to go ahead and check that out. All right. Got a few people hopping in on the YouTube. Hello, Darla. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Jake from State Farm. Awesome. And hi, Lonnie on Facebook. Good to see you. Let me know where you guys are watching from as you guys are hopping in, and if you have any questions. And also, if you would like me to do these kind of live updates a little bit more often. But anyways, I apologize for the lack of live updates and everything. I was recovering a bit from a bit of an illness. So yeah, the National Weather Service Spokane, they mentions that winter weather travel at times. Hi, Susie on Facebook. And then they also have this nice little timetable here with the days and the percentage, the chance of snow on those days going through next week. This is specifically for the mountain passes. And for Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, 85% chance of snow on Monday. Stevens Pass, 80% chance of snow. And then a little bit less on Tuesday. And then the chances go up again for the mountain passes on Wednesday, which is going to be a big travel day. So we'll have to kind of take a look at what the models are showing for that, which we'll do right now. All right. So this is looking at the European model. Tomorrow is going to be dry again. And if we pop over to the NAM 3cam, we can confirm that. So yeah, tomorrow is dry with the exception of maybe some light showers out there on the far northwest coast and tomorrow night in places like Whatcom County. Going back to the European model here, we see that there will be some light rain later in the day on Saturday, going through Saturday night, and then into Sunday morning is when the next system is going to begin coming through the area through Sunday. But really, in my opinion, it is looking less and less impressive with each consecutive model run. The National Weather Service in Spokane, they highlight that possibility, 85% chance of snow there on Monday. But if we look up there at Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie Pass for clarification, but looking at this model here, this European model, it's not very low snow levels on there. And that system kind of wraps up. I mean, maybe some light snow right there, but not a lot by any means. If we take a little bit more of a zoomed in look here on the European model, I'm going to pop it onto the Katura. And we zoom on through. And that's not that impressive. But, there could be more. There could be a little bit more. But yeah, the European model only has like 1 to 2 inches for Stevens Pass on Monday, and maybe just a trace up there at Snoqualmie Pass. If we look at the GFS, let's see. Yeah, the GFS has quite a bit more snow. So, I don't know, which one of those are you going to choose between, though? European or the GFS? That's I always tend to lean towards the European. Let's go ahead and pop through here on the 18Z GFS. And yeah, it shows a bit more snow for the mountains. Starting on during the day Sunday and going through the day on Monday with some lighter snow. Unofficial Washington State Fire, watching from Duval. Hello. Good to see you guys popping in. And, I forgot to pin a comment here on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Whoa, Laura Reed, thank you so much for your generous gift of 1,660 stars. That is so, so appreciated. Thank you so much. Stand by just for maybe 30 seconds here. And I'm just going to pin a comment. Whoop, don't want to have that volume up. Don't want to get hit with a copyright strike, you know what I mean? Man, it feels so good to not feel sick anymore. You know that feeling where it's like you made you almost forget what it feels like to be just feel like a regular human being. Okay. I cannot find this comment I wanted to throw in here. That's all good. We don't need it. Nipcow Disc. Hello. Thanks for hopping in, guys. Okay. So Dana asks, any chance of snow coming? Well, that depends on where you live. The National Weather Service at Spokane, they do have this handy dandy graphic right here, talking about the possibility of some lowland snow, specifically east of the Cascades. And again, low confidence, hyper low confidence. Gonna just keep on nailing that button there to really hammer that point. But yeah, east of the Cascades, weather could get pretty interesting next week. There is a higher chance of snow up in the mountains. West of the Cascades, odds are not looking that great for lowland snow anytime soon. Although there are some occasional hints in the models, there's not been anything, in my opinion, that's really made me want to publicly talk about any chance of cold or snow or anything like that. But we do have this system coming up, starting late Saturday into Sunday through Monday, and that'll cause some snow up there in the mountains and whatnot. Olympic Peninsula, yeah, probably not for a little while out there in the Olympic Peninsula, but we're getting to that time of year where we could start seeing a favorable pattern start to show up. The models usually start to catch on to that kind of thing, maybe a weekish in advance. But as always around here, whether or not one specific area is going to get snow is always difficult to nail down sometimes. More often than not. It's kind of rare for us to get that widespread, everyone's going to get snow type of scenario. I don't see anything like that in the models so far. I'm going to take a look at your guys' comments here real quick. Laura says she forgot about stars. Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook, there is the option of sending stars. There is also the option of sending a Ko-Fi, or if you're watching on YouTube, there is the option of sending over a super chat, which would highlight your comment and all that good stuff. But obviously none of that is a requirement. Just hanging out is support enough, and hitting the like button and subscribing or following, all those things, is great. I don't expect anyone to give that kind of support. It's not something that's expected, but when it is given, it's very, very, very much appreciated. So, thanks everyone for watching. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to pin that. Any fantasy windstorms? Great question, Oyster Lamp. Oyster Lampable. I hope I'm saying that right. Or is it Oyster Lamp Able? That's a good question right there. I'll answer that question in just a moment here, Oyster, and we'll see if there's any good fantasy goodies out there for us to take a look at. Whoopsies. So, Going to pop back to the European model. So here's that system. Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, things maybe kind of dry out a little bit later in the day on Monday. And then another system looks like it's going to come in Monday night into Tuesday morning. And the European model has that one having a bit more snow on there. And that may be where the higher confidence, the higher probs of snow are for the mountains. That would be interesting on Tuesday morning right there for Snoqualmie Pass. Take a look at the... Yeah, that would be snowing up there at Snoqualmie most likely on Tuesday morning into afternoon. That could be kind of fun up there. Well, depending on who you are. If you're traveling, probably not fun. And looking at wind, nothing too incredible on the wind, with maybe a bit of a blustery day on Tuesday morning and afternoon for parts of the coast, but nothing that you guys are not super accustomed with. Total precipitation. I'm going to zoom in to the Washington State view for this. This is going through the next 6 days on this one European model run. Looks like November to me. Nothing too crazy, but some rain for the coast and much of the interior. Some rain shadowing going on there by Sequim, Port Angeles, Port Townsend, Whidbey Island, and Camino Island. And, of course, rain shadowing for pretty much the whole of eastern Washington. And I hesitated even to show this, but I'm going to flash my fancy little graphic here again. Low confidence. This is not a forecast of mine by any means, but sometimes the models here have been hinting maybe the possibility of snow. Just cold getting close to the region by about not this weekend, but next weekend. But here's the thing, that's way, way out there. And the models are only occasionally showing that outcome. And even so, it's not looking like fantastic, even on the outcomes that are kind of showing it. And the ensemble data is not really supporting it. So the confidence of lowland snow and cold for much of Washington State is low. I'm not seeing anything that would make me have high confidence of anything like that happening anytime soon. Before I get much further, just taking a look here. Hi, Grandma Kelly McDonald, watched from Elma. Still some people watching on Facebook, I see. And by the way, if you're watching on Facebook, I am also live on the tube of the YouTube. Just so you know. And dang it, I keep on showing that graphic on accident. That is my bad. I am going to share something very quickly here on my Facebook page before I get much further. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please make sure and hit that like button. That helps get this stream out to more people. Also subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching it on Facebook and you're not already following the page, please make sure and follow. All right. Dink. And I am going to go ahead and grab this. All right. Puget Sound Stormwatch, I'll answer your question sometime on Discord if you like. Neither is a clue. I found a way. Okay. So yeah, for all y'all snow lovers out there, I'm not seeing anything like, man, I've been seeing some of the most ridiculous stuff, some of the most ridiculous things out there on YouTube and Facebook. People are just going buck wild, showing like just snow maps that go out 365 hours and just it's like mega snow coming to your house in the next month. It's like, dude, let's calm down with the clickbait, shall we? You know? I'm not in the business of, I really don't enjoy talking about things that might happen like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. So yeah, again, in terms of the long range, I'm not seeing anything that would make me think there's a high confidence of any sort of cold air or anything like that. But the models, they have been showing some fun stuff every now and then. Like the 812Z European model run did show some cold air making it down here by next weekend. And again, the ensemble data is not really supporting that just yet. So before we get too excited, this is looking at the European weeklies. Really not too exciting just yet. But that doesn't really mean too much around here. And looking at the GFS long range, there's that system on Sunday into Monday. And then things maybe get a little bit interesting by next weekend, but confidence is redonkulously low. That's the official term, redonkulously. All right, I want to make sure I'm not missing comments here. Hello, Mario from Othello. Hello, Mary Hamstra. Yeah, no Northeast junk for Linden. Yeah. I mean, I am using OBS, Puget Sound Stormwatch, and I'll share. It's a plugin that I'm using to make it possible to stream to both Facebook and YouTube. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. 37 people in the chat here on YouTube. Hello, it is great to see you guys in here. One thing we could take a look at here is the Climate Prediction Center from NOAA. I want to make sure that this is centered on the screen correctly, and it looks like it's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and scoot it over regardless. So the Climate Prediction Center is a handy resource, and it's not them saying this is absolutely what is going to happen. That's not what they're saying. But it is a product that they put out showing probabilities of whether or not they think it's going to be warmer than normal or cooler than normal. What this product is not showing is if they think there's a higher chance of like an Arctic outbreak or a heat wave. It's just showing the probability of temperatures being a bit above normal or below. And to be fair, when it's looking like some place is going to get some sort of modified Arctic air, usually they'll put this probability, this percentage chance here in the 80 to 90 to 90 to 100% range. And in the next 6 to 10 days, we're not really seeing that there. And for here in Washington State, they have half the state leaning near normal, so not too exciting. The southwest part of the state, they actually have leaning above normal temperatures possible. And then for the northern state, part of the state, it's leaning towards the possibility of some cooler than normal temperatures. But right now, we're not looking too crazy. And then for the next 6 to 10 days, valid starting on the 26th. Actually, this is a 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. I should say not the next 6 to 10 days. Starting November 26th to 30th. It's looking like near normal precipitation for western Washington and actually above normal possible for east of the Cascades. Now, near normal around here in November is good because we get a lot of rain in November. And then this is looking at the 1 month outlook for December. And they are showing the possibility for part of Washington state leaning below normal, but again, not high confidence. And part of the state is just equal chances, which basically means it could go either way. And looking decent for precipitation for the month of December. And now here's the 3-month outlook. And this was just released earlier today. This is for December, January, and February. And they have Washington State leaning below normal temperatures during that time frame, with Western Washington having equal chances of precipitation, meaning it could be above normal, it could be below normal, which basically is indicating we're not seeing any super strong signals just yet. But, you know, I have a feeling that there's going to be at least a shot or two of cold air that'll make it into Washington State sometime this winter. But we just don't know when yet. Keith Capellaro says on YouTube, just have to watch the Fraser River outflow. Yep, you know, and to get that Fraser River outflow, got to have the right upper atmospheric conditions and surface lows, Arctic highs sliding into the right positions, and surface lows moving into the right positions. A whole bunch of stuff has to come together to get that really nice Fraser Valley outflow. Let's see. How many people do we have here on the YouTubes? 50. All right. If you guys are enjoying this stream, please make sure and hit that thumbs up button. And gosh, you know what? I almost forgot to put on my new sweatshirt here. I was going to do this. So 1 second. Let's do this real fast. I am launching pretty soon a Washington Weather Chasers shop. And this is my new sweatshirt. It's pretty sweet. It's really comfortable. I've been wearing it this week to make sure that I like it, you know, before I actually make this go live. But the quality seems good. The fit feels good. The print looks good. I actually really like the way that looks. Check that out. Nice and fresh. Washington Weather Chasers. And by the way, if you've wondered, WA, Washington, WX, weather, Washington Weather Chasers. I know that you guys probably already figured that out, but be watching for a drop of the shop sometime next week, and I am looking forward to that. On YouTube, watching from Mount Vernon. Good to see you out chasing, says Brecky. Yeah, there's going to be hoodies. There's going to be t-shirts, stickers, pins. Let's see if I can show you guys a little view of the shop here. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm almost embarrassed that I haven't done this sooner, if I'm being honest. But, you know, life happens. Let's see here. Stand by just for a second, folks, if you guys don't mind. Okay. Yeah, check this out real fast. So yeah, this is the shop. I don't quite have it live yet, but Washington Weather Chaser swag. Got ourselves some t-shirts, some stickers. Going to be putting some photos on there. That's one of the pictures of the waves at Cape Disappointment that I put out. I know you guys want some Washington Weather Chaser socks. I mean, who doesn't? Some Washington Weather Chaser pins, some Christmas ornaments, an apron, a beanie. I bought myself one of these beanies. It's pretty cool. It's embroidered. And this windbreaker. There's 2 types of sweatshirts, different kind of hat, and even a candle. I was hoping to get the candle in petrichor scent, like the smell of right after it rains. That's the hoodie that I bought right there. And then a t-shirt in a whole bunch of different colors. And a link to the YouTube. And by the way, actually, yeah, I could use some feedback on this. I just saw someone on YouTube comment, how are there so many ads? And honestly, right now I have it set to the ad setting that YouTube recommended. I have no idea what the frequency is actually like. If it seems excessive to other streams, can you guys let me know? And like Sonya does say, the ads, they kind of end up helping me out and whatnot, help support chases. But at the same time, I don't want there to be an annoying frequency of ads. So let me know if it needs to be toned down a little bit. I think I can do that, but I'm still getting used to YouTube. So I am totally open to feedback. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I can see if there's a possibility of making the frequency not so often. All right. Is there anything you guys would like me to take a look at? I've gone over the satellite imagery, not much to look at there. We have looked at the beach statements. We've looked at this chance of 24-hour snowfall for the passes and the percentages. We have looked at this graphic from the National Weather Service in Spokane, and they talk about the possibility of lowland snow east of the Cascades and low confidence. Again, I know you guys, if you've been watching this whole thing, you've seen me flash this, but I like the fact that they include that low confidence there for east of the Cascades, because it really is just that, low confidence of that. But they mentioned the possibility, that's the way it works with weather forecasting. It's not like there's a crystal ball that we're actually looking into and know exactly what's going to happen several days out. And we've looked at what the European model is showing for the next several days with rain. We've looked at wind. We've looked at rain totals, and we've looked at what the models have been kind of dangling the carrot of, and that's just what it is. It's a carrot. It's probably not real. But if it is, I'll let you guys know. I'm just going to put this on a loop and take a look at your guys' comments again. Brecky, feedback and just a comment would be fine. I think you're watching on Facebook though, so I don't think Facebook is getting ads. I think YouTube is getting the ads. All right. Besides the water, says about the ads, there's been about 3 so far, not too bothersome. All right. And, ooh, I could start a Q&A. Let's see. I guess I'll ask me a question. That's weird. I don't like that. Back to the chat. How about we do a poll over on YouTube? Here we go. Who wants a lowland snow apocalypse? this winter? Yes, no. There we go. Start poll. All right, everyone vote. It should be popping up in the top of the chat there. First vote. Oh, all right. We're 71% yes so far, folks. Man, this live vote thing, man, this is pretty intense. I'm gonna have to bring this over. Let's see. This is probably the most exciting part of the whole entire deal. This whole entire stream. I love this kind of stuff. Let's see here. All right, keep that voting going. I'm going to see if I can show that in the stream here real fast. Here we go. There we go. Does that show up okay? %74% yes. You are my people. My kind of people. Yeah, I would say that's only 19 votes. Let's see if we can get some more votes in there. We need more votes. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to when there's more weather that we can actually chase. When the weather's slow, it's, I don't know. Doing these weather updates is not my most favorite thing to do when there's not a big storm coming up. But it is fun to hang out with you guys and engage and talk about what could happen and what's probably not going to happen. All right, looks like 75% of people want snow, 24% do not want snow. Yeah, 76% want and 24% don't. Great. All right, looking at the comments here one more time, and then I'm probably going to call it a night here soon. Let me know if you have any last-minute questions. Ooh, Keith says, I should do a contest on when the first inch of snow will hit your place. Like where I live, Keith? Is that what you're thinking? Here in Lake Stevens? Or specifically people's homes? What if it was like Seattle or something like that? Ingrid says they are impatiently waiting for snow. Besides the water says, can we just have snowpocalypse all winter and skip the rain and mud? Yeah, I mean, I think it was the winter of 1950. That kind of ended up being nuts around here. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop over to historylink.org here. Yeah, I'm going to bring this article over. Make sure this pops up okay. Yeah, so 1950, record low temperatures and heavy snow plague Washington State for 3 weeks beginning in January 12th, 1950. If you guys have never read about this, it's pretty crazy to read about. And this was written by Phil Daughtry, posted here on historylink.org. And yeah, I mean, pretty crazy stuff. I mean, here's an old picture, Seattle covered in snow. House damaged by a landslide on Beacon Hill. But right here, look at this. Let's just read this. Although later, many would recall that the 1950 cold wave started on Friday, January 13th. The cold actually moved into the state from British Columbia during the morning hours of Thursday, January 12th, 1950. It passed both Seattle and Spokane about the same time, noon, And temperatures in both cities fell steadily during the afternoon and night from a high of 32 degrees in Seattle and 24 in Spokane. Bellingham picked up a quick 7 inches of snow that day, but only light snow was reported in a few other places outside of northwestern Washington. And that all changed on the morning of Friday the 13th. Beginning about dawn in Seattle and a little later in Spokane, a blizzard set in that affected much of the state. The storm's timing turned out to be critical, and the snow started early enough in Seattle that schools were closed. Seattle gusted to 40 with temperatures in the low teens. One man was killed in a bizarre accident when a truck skidded on a snowy road into a car. A man riding in the car was thrown into Lake Washington and drowned. Downtown Seattle picked up an average of 10 inches of snow, but further south by SeaTac, look at this, guys, recorded 21.4 inches of snow, the second greatest 24-hour snowfall ever recorded in the city. Amazing. And, I mean, we could keep on reading this. It's just nuts. Look at this. Further north, winds in Bellingham exceeded 60 miles per hour, unofficially gusting to 78. And that's the Fraser Valley outflow doing that. Yeah, just crazy. If you guys want to read more about that event, it's definitely worth checking out. All right. Brecky, want to chase with you? LOL. Need to learn how to read the sound. Yeah. Well, sometime, we could talk about soundings and whatnot. All right, looking at the comments here. Nipcow up there in Whatcom County says, still remember the winter of 1968 through 69. I prefer not to have a snowpocalypse. Yeah, you guys can get it crazy up there in Whatcom County for sure. Lake Stevens. That's a good idea, Keith. Yeah, I'll do something like that on the Facebook page here in the next couple weeks. We'll have a contest. That'd be fun. Nipcow says, it was brutal, referring to that winter of 1968 and 69. School was closed for 2 weeks. There was enough white stuff on the ground for my brother and I to build separate igloos. Okay, folks. Well, it looks like I'm going to end that poll. There's the results there. We got 26 votes. 73% said yes. 27% no. And I totally understand the no votes as well as the yes. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, folks. Well, hey, thanks for watching. And the next time there's a storm chase, I'll try to give people a heads up, both on a Facebook post, and I'll try to post here on YouTube as well. And if you've enjoyed this stream, please make sure and hit that like button, and also subscribe on YouTube if you're not already subscribed, and follow the Facebook page. I like being active on the Facebook page because that's really where the community has a lot of communication and kind of hanging out and whatnot. But YouTube is a better platform for doing these storm chasing live streams and everything else. But thanks for hanging out, guys. I will talk to you guys later, and have a great night.